Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to face a tough topic. I want to talk about birds and dogs interactions. Many of us live with dogs and birds in their houses, and so I think this is an important topic to talk about. You can see any kind of stuff on the internet. From YouTube to Facebook, you can see dogs and parrots playing together. Or you can see parrots annoying dogs because they walk on them, they pull their fur. And on the other hand, there are a lot of Facebook groups where it's forbidden to post content featuring dogs and parrot together. Now, I can understand this kind of behavior from the admins and moderators because they think monkey see, monkey do, so it's safer to not show any kind of potentially risky behavior. And this also includes free-flying videos. But about the main topic, I think that it's very complicated, and giving a net answer like no, zero interactions, or yes, don't worry, animals are good and they can live together and love each other, it's too rough. Dogs are incredible animals, and yes, they have strong instincts, but they can learn to control them in many ways. And a dog is a predator, a bird is a prey, but it doesn't mean a dog can't think with its mind and can't learn to understand and respect what you love and fear or your reproach if that's not enough. A dog has to be under the control of the owner. And obedience and respect are keys. You must have done a work with your dog to the point that you know that your no command is going to work when you give it, and that the dog will stop doing whatever he's thinking to do when you give the cue. I say what the dog is thinking to do because this is how the no command should be used on a dog, to prevent an action before it started. Your no is probably going to be ignored if you give it when the action already started. For example, if your dog is eating a slice of pizza from the floor and you give the no command, even a well-trained dog probably won't stop and will continue eating. But if you say no when the pizza drops and the dog sees it and is going to get it, a well-trained dog will stop. And this is the key of this topic. You must be able to read your dog. You have to be trained too. You must be able to recognize the body language of the dog so that you can act before. You see the dog looking at the bird with predatory behavior like motionless, eyes wide open, ears high. You say no. The dog stops the behavior, relaxes, and you go for a good boy and reward to the dog. There are dogs and dogs, of course. For some it's harder to fight the urge to hunt, and so you have to be extra careful, but it's up to you to know your dog perfectly. What I want to say is that you can have both dogs and parrots, and you can try to have them to never cross their roads. And it can work, but if for some kind of distraction or accident they happen to meet and you are not around and you did never do any kind of preparation or presentation, things would go totally random. With some problematic dogs or unexperienced owners, this is the only way, of course. But it's not if the dog is an equilibrated dog under control and the owner has some experience. Now, I don't think you should let birds and dogs play together, because their play style is not compatible. Dogs are irruent, they jump, they fight, they bite, they roll, and it can be very dangerous for the birds. And when you see videos on the internet of dogs and birds playing together, well, the merit is all of the dog, honestly. Some very angelic dog that managed to control and restrain himself with concentration and fatigue. So the final goal, in my opinion, should be to get birds and dogs to ignore each other, to live together without many interactions, just mutual respect. Of course, only with the presence of the owner, because some dogs will behave if the owner is there, but will act differently if they think that they are not being controlled. And a dog doesn't hurt a bird just because you want to eat it. It can be for dominance if the parrot invades its space or it stings, or it can be for jealousy or for rage, because sometimes the parrots go and bully the dogs, they walk on them, they are annoying, they can even hurt the dog. And so you have to make sure that this doesn't happen. And you have to be always ready to read your dog's behavior. These two buddies are so good, they will mind their own business and the parrots will just do the same. Actually, I think that my dogs sees the parrots as part of the family, just something else to protect. Because after all, they are shepherd dogs. They also stop the chasing sparrows and other wild birds, just to be safe. The size difference can be very dangerous, even if the dog has only good intentions. So, if they are out together, the owner always has to be focused on what they are doing. And finally, I was forgetting about another thing, dog saliva. I read everywhere that dog saliva is toxic for birds. It's not toxic, it just has different bacteria that can potentially be dangerous for the birds, but it's not a certainty. It depends by where the dog poked its nose, how the saliva gets to the bird. Because if the dog bites the bird, yes, saliva is very dangerous in this case. Many different bacteria goes inside of the bird, bypassing all of the defenses. Just a leak on an healthy bird, it's unlikely to bring trouble, or it never happened to me anyway. And some leaking definitely happened in all of these years. Maybe if the dog licks the bird on a wound or on a scratch, then yes, it would bring trouble. Also, my birds very often go and drink from the dog's water when they are outside, and never had a problem with that. So I'm not saying to just don't care and let the dogs lick the birds for all of the day. I'm saying just not to be over dramatic about it. I think that's all. That's what I think about this topic. Let me know what you think in the comments, and see you soon in the next videos.